Hello, and welcome to my little recording of InfiTech 2 ore processing. This is the system that I'm using to kind of organize going from the ores down to final products, which get imported into the ME system up here. Um, One thing you want to notice is all these little arrows from the item conduits. This is where all the complexity is taken care of basically. And the machines are actually very simple. This is what I like about the system is that you basically provide power on the bottom of these machines and input and output on the tops, and basically where they are and so forth doesn't really matter. So if you need another sifting machine because you don't have enough, I got two of them here. If I need a third one, I can just throw it right here next to the rest of them. I could put them anywhere in here actually, and then you just got to set up the top of the conduit, which is pretty simple with the conduit probe. You can copy and paste, and so you just add it down, change the conduit settings, and it just works. So the hard part is just setting it all up, of course. So I got all these ores in here. It's using the brown channel, which will go into this first macerator here and chop it all up. Goes out the red channel, which will come to here, type filters. This is for crushed ores. So yeah, it goes in the red channel, priority 5, goes out the black channel, which if we get up here, this is the input for the black channel. So basically each one of these just goes into the chest. Now these chests are basically for buffering, is really all they're used for, because this macerator, it goes pretty quick. This is a high voltage machine. It processes pretty quickly. The next step in the process is generally going to be the ore washing plant, which is quite a bit slower. So this will filter out all crushed ores, anything that's not a crushed ore. There's the red channel, here it is, so it'll go into this chest. This has a lower priority. So anything that won't fit into here basically will come into this chest. And this chest goes out the white channel, which white channel is our output, final outputs, and so it goes here into this chest, which gets imported into the ME system. So all your stone dust or whatever you might get extra it's not going to go in here, it'll go into this chest and just get thrown out of the system. And we actually have several different inputs because you have different ways for it can get there. The yellow channel, for example, is out of here. Pure dust. Oh, this one's got a filter on it, that's why. So I've got pyrite dust and tetrahedrite dust. These are purified piles. These we don't want to centrifuge because we're actually better off just smelting it. And so those are two special cases where we want to bypass the system. So yeah, because normally you want to run the default system for most ores, but there's going to be some special cases, and this is kind of the best way to go about handling all those special cases and so forth. We've got some special cases up here. The bauxite, because there's two different ways we could process this thing. We could do the thermal centrifuge. Maybe there's not. Electrolyze. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I special case that. I'm gonna think about that some more. But we have chalcopyrite, we have pentlandite. These we can turn into the platinum group sludge to get osmium, and so we don't want to, do what's normal for that, which would be purified and be crushed then in the macerator. So we have two of these. This first one's just for ores, and this one's going to be for anything that comes out of the ore washing plant, the purified crushed ores. We could use like one macerator, but if we do that, if this gets like processing different ores and so forth, and then it doesn't actually get to these right away, and so it backs up everything, and the basic centrifuges don't have nothing to do. So I found it to be better just to separate the two. So that's why I have two different macerators here. But it'll go out the red channel, through here, out the blue, which normally goes into the ore washing plants. Comes out on light blue, which is this type filter for purified crushed. As a priority 5 light blue, and these are light blue as well, priority 10. So it's going to prioritize these. Now you can't use like round robin as a result, because it'll kind of ignore all the priorities and just feed things everywhere. So that's okay though. What we can do is it'll go into here, goes out on the green, into here, and comes out on the gray. And this one we could do round robin on. And the gray will go to here. So actually we don't need it because we only got one macerator. But if we had more than one, it would distribute them across all of them. And we might add more later on if we need to. This is a very scalable system, like I said. You can just throw it on more machines if you find that, you know, one thing's just seems to get backlogged and you're not getting through it in time. Just throw some more machines down. So it's pretty simple. This one could use round robin. Anyway, light blue goes into here, or gray, I mean, goes into here. Light gray comes out and normally goes into here, which is our pure dust. Light gray goes here as well, because we get the tiny piles. Speaking of tiny piles, this type filter handles the tiny piles of dust. And it's got three different input sides. So we've got the light blue, because it could come from here, or washing plants. This is pink, which is the sifting machine, I think. Yeah. So coming out of the sifting machine, we could have tiny piles, and we can also have tiny piles from, is that pink as well? Alright, so we got two different pink channels for some reason. I wonder if I'm missing one somewhere. I don't know. But that goes in there. This will come out the cyan, which will go into this chest buffer, which is full now. And that's a problem. I got to figure out how I'm going to solve this. I could add a second buffer, but if, you know, some spot opens up, yeah, I don't know. Priority 10, I could set up one here with priority 9 that feeds into here if I have to. But the output is set to stack size of 9, which will go into here, packages it up, goes out the pink channel, which goes somewhere. This side? Oh, this is it right here, I think. Yeah, pink channel. And this is our export chest, which sends everything out, basically. This is our buffer chest for things that are going to be sifted, rather, instead of going through the basic centrifuge. Or through the macerator first and then centrifuged. So, things like, yeah, here we go, coal, nether quartz, quartzite, diamond, sodalite. We've got some more over here. So these are all things that we want to sift rather than go the normal path. So that's what this buffer chest is for. This buffer chest is for the electromagnetic separator. And really we only have 4 items for that I've found so far. One thing you want to do is when you get new ores that you haven't really encountered before, you got to figure out, do we want to go through this system and what path is it going to take, and then you got to set up the filters for it. And that's probably the hardest part of it, really. You also have to decide what ores you want to go through here in the first place. You don't want to just throw everything in here. There's actually 3 possible paths you want to take. There's, macerating it and going through the whole process with it. That's one way. And that's typically the way you're going to do with most ores. If you can, basically you want to use the Thaumcraft native clusters. Use this thing here, alchemical construct, to make these native clusters. You'd be better off doing that, then you get more of an output than you will going through the macerator. So if you can do that, and if you don't know if an ore can handle it or whatever, you just take one of these like this, try putting in the alchemical construct and see if it has a recipe for it. That's generally what I do. The easiest way. I've got them all unlocked. So that's the primary way. The second option you could have is the QED. Some things that you can't turn into native clusters, you can put in a QED like this with some charcoal and make triple ingots out of it instead. So that's also a possibility. And if either one of those 2 options don't work, then yeah, you want to go down this path. Now sorting all your ores into what those 3 paths is a little bit trickier. You basically have to use filters, I think. That's the only way I've really been able to see a way of doing it, really. Because you can't really use ore dictionary or anything because, I don't know, it just didn't work. Basically every single Greg type ore is just one, 980. They're all 980, so. And the ore dictionary doesn't seem to, because you can have iron that's in stone, you can have iron that's in black granite or red granite, netherrack, and you would think they would all match the ore dictionary, but it doesn't seem to. Either it just takes everything or else it won't take anything. So it's kind of annoying. So you'd have to set up a filter with each one of those kinds of things. So there's like 7 of them or something. You've got stone, you've got black granite, red granite, you've got netherrack, and then you've got the end possibly. So that's what, 4, 5 already, and then there's the planets, Galacticraft planets, so there are probably even more. So, you make one of these advanced filters and you got mostly all filled up with just one type of ore. So it'd take a really big system to really sort them all out, but it could be done. For me, I don't think I'm gonna bother, not at this point anyway. Maybe later on I'll try to do that, but for now I'll just manually figure out what I want to go down which path, and just grab them all and throw them in this chest, and then this will be everything that gets macerated, and then stuff I want to turn into natural native clusters I'll take over to my Thaumcraft area and so forth. So and I got stone pile here, which is, I just don't want to fill up my ME system with stone dust, so I just put this here. But nothing really special about that. So this is, yeah, my ore processing system so far. Basically, the basic centrifuge is the last step for most of these ores, so You might get down like, you know, just iron dust, but you might get stuff like, you know, bauxite dust or, you know, galena dust here, which needs to be processed further. And I don't really handle that with that system. I'll just sort of do it manually for now, but later on I might, you know, put it through another secondary system or whatever. Basically, I've run out of channels, so I can't really do much more. There's like one channel, which is the green channel, that's not used. And because, you know, these things normally default to the green channel, so I figured I'd leave that unused so that it doesn't like mess things up in any way. But yeah, this is my ore processing system. Works pretty good. We can turn this on now. And it just starts pulling stuff out. This is chalcopyrite, so it's going to end up here at 192 at the moment. Going through here, and almost done. There we go. 193. And yeah, all the stuff will go to wherever it needs to go. And it should be able to handle all these now. So, yep. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Yep, good day. Bye.